Welcome to MEGAMOCS Episode 1, The Clone Juggernaut. A little over a year ago, I put out a poll asking you guys what MOC you wanted me to make. The Juggernaut won with 58% of the vote, and I put out a short showing some of my plans for the build. I showed the size of the wheels I wanted to use along with the size and spacing of the build itself. In that video, I said that the build would need to be between 70 and 78 studs long, and it would have to have individual suspension. 10 days later, I posted another short showing off part 1 of the build, showcasing the suspension and the turning mechanism along with pop-out missile launchers. Then, it was radio silence for over a year. I got comments quite often asking where the updates on the MOC were, and the answer was quite simple. I just didn't have enough pieces. I know I could have just gone to Bricklink and bought pieces, but I'll cover that later in the video. Since the last video on the turbo tank, there have been quite a few things that have happened. I took an almost 2-month-long break, came back to uploading, and rebranded the channel. Throughout all of this, I still got comments asking where the turbo tank was, and I thought to myself, why not try again? I went back and cooked up a design that would meet the scale that I wanted, and saw that I actually did have enough pieces, even though it was cutting it close. There was only one problem. The pieces I needed were on other builds. I stripped all of the tiles off of my incomplete ATOT and demolished both my custom ATTE and the official LEGO ATTE build. With all of these new parts, I finally got back to building the Juggernaut. When approaching this build, I wanted to be as accurate as possible while also having working play functions. The only play function I kept from my original plan was the pop-out rocket launchers on the side. The individual suspension and the turning mechanism were both scrapped because they would affect the accuracy of the design. However, I did include a ton of other play features, including a telescoping crow's nest, accessible front, back, and center cabins, twin ATRT ports, removable extra seating for the center cabin, a posable roof cannon, and eventually a spinning rear cannon. The front cabin can hold 5 minifigures, the center cabin can hold 4 minifigures, the removable extra seating has space for 8 minifigures, the crow's nest can hold 1 minifigure, and I plan on having 3 to 5 seats for minifigures in the rear cabin. As promised, the Juggernaut is 70 studs long, although that might increase by a couple studs with the addition of some light frontal blasters. 70 studs translates to about 22 inches, meaning all the true dimensions of the tank without the lower half is 22 inches long, 10 inches tall, and 10 inches wide. If you're one of those weirdos that uses the metric system, then suffer, because I won't be converting that for you. I'm an American. I honestly have no idea what the piece count of the build is, but I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that it's in the thousands, and will only keep growing since I'm just over halfway done with the build. The parts that still aren't built include the entire bottom half of the build, the interior of the rear cabin, the ATRT doors and ramps for the center cabin, and possibly the individual suspension. I'm not entirely certain that I have the right suspension for it, or if it'll even be compatible with the idea I have in mind. The back cabin needs a lot of work at the moment, but I had a really good idea for the gunner's seat. Instead of just making a chair for him like everyone else in the back cabin, I thought it would be a good idea if I attached the gunner's seat to the ceiling and made it swivel along with the cannon above. For the wheels, I plan on using these large rims from a Technic Land Rover Defender that came out a couple years ago. On the outside of the wheels, I will be using some 10x10 dishes and a couple other details to make them a bit more accurate. The large gaps in the center cabin I plan on turning into foldable ramps that go all the way to the ground so that troopers and ATRTs have somewhere to get in and get off. I believe in lore they actually have separate platforms that are used to get up onto the Juggernaut, but I feel like making functioning ramps would be more fun. In the next episode where I cover the Juggernaut, it will hopefully be 100% finished, and I will then be able to give you a MOC rating. If you like this turbo tank design and would like some digital instructions, tell me in the comments. Since this is the start of a new series, I ask that you like, share, and comment to boost the algorithm a little bit. Also, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. It really does help me out. Don't forget to join the Discord. We have a really awesome community, and I regularly post leaks of what I'm working on over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.